You're watching Otaku Scrolls.
The story continued with the legend of the Four Heavens Ten Clan, a renowned martial sect from the Four Heavens province in China. Known for their mastery of poisons and silent assassinations, they specialize in hidden weapons laced with deadly venom. A system prompt suddenly appeared before Urine Fox, displaying his status. What the hell? The Four Heavens Clan? Here? Urine thought, stunned. This is supposed to be a medieval fantasy world. How are they here? Then, a grin tugged at his lips. But, if I can unlock their abilities, this could be interesting. Suddenly, a deep voice broke his thoughts. It was his father, Wellington Fox, who had been standing nearby. My lord, Arin called out respectfully, has young Master Urine woken up? Yes, answered Arin the attendant. He just woke up a little while ago. How does he seem? Wellington asked. Arin hesitated. He doesn't look completely well yet. He even trembled when I helped him stand. His overall condition still seems weak. But Priest Elio said the injury wasn't that deep. Wellington frowned. Is that so? Still, doesn't Urine seem a bit strange? Before, if you asked him to apologize to Elia, he would have thrown a tantrum. Yet this time, he said yes without a fuss. Perhaps it's nothing, my lord, Arin replied gently. The young master will gradually recover. Wellington let out a bitter laugh. Even I, his own father, have given up on that boy. And yet, you still believe in him? Before Arin could respond, Wellington sighed as he watched from the balcony. I almost feel bad for that kid. Maybe I should just let him live his life as a knight. How hard must it have been under my expectations? He ran a hand through his hair. Arin, however, sensed something different about Urine today. Strange. He feels changed somehow. Suddenly, Arin's voice cut through the air. Arin, we have a training hall here, right? The drill yard, you call it? Take me there. Arin blinked in surprise. You want to train? Right now? Yes. Is that a problem? Urine replied, smirking inwardly. The Eye of the Creator trait lets me see stats. But as for unlocking the Four Heavens Clan techniques, no clue yet. Maybe it's tied to physical improvement. For now, I'll train. I need to figure this out. As they walked, Urine cursed under his breath. Damn, this garden is the size of several stadiums. I'm already exhausted, but if I try working out in my room, I'll just collapse back into bed. No more lazy excuses. They passed a pair of servants who greeted politely. These guys hate me. Urine checked his system window. Name, Urine level 49, faction 74, extreme dislike. Name, Butler level 52, faction 80, hatred. Name, Gardener affection 62, dislike. Wow, infinity negative points all around. Well, considering what a bastard Urine used to be, I can't really blame them. Huff, huff. Are we there yet? Urine asked. Almost, Orion replied. This is the third training ground. Most knights use the first and second. But wait, someone's here. A cold chill ran down Viren's spine as a system prompt appeared. Name, Alien, class, Knight trainee, level 41, affection 91, killing urge. What the hell? Killing urge? From the shadows, a tall man with a grim face stepped forward. Oh my, if it isn't the young master himself. What brings you to the training hall? He smirked darkly. Eka Alien, Urine whispered nervously. Oh, you still remember me? Eka's smile twisted into a sneer. Urine frowned. Did something happen between us? Arin stiffened. You don't remember? Years ago, when Lord Mercurius forced you to train, you called Eka over while laughing and you scarred his face with a sword. What? Urine's eyes widened. After that, Arin continued in a low voice, Mercurius gave up on making you train. Eka's killing intent was palpable. Aaron, Viren muttered quickly. Let's go. Now. They fled the hall. Is there another training ground? Urine asked. There's a fourth, Arin said reluctantly. But it's far away, and the facilities are poor. Just an empty field. Perfect, Urine grinned. If I'm going to lose weight, I'll do it properly. 3 weeks later, Wellington watched from the balcony in shock. He hasn't skipped a single day of training, the Lord muttered. He's lost so much weight. His appearance has changed completely. Without the fat, he's actually handsome. Has he truly matured? Meanwhile, Urin stared at his status screen in frustration. 3 weeks, and the 4 heavens trait still won't unlock. I'll give it 1 more month. If it doesn't, I'll steal the protagonist's fateful encounter. That evening, Arin entered the room carrying a tray. Young master, brought your dinner. Thanks, Viren replied, glancing at the system description. Chicken soup. Despite its simple name, this nutritious dish burns fat and builds muscle. A Fox family tradition after every training session. Chicken soup. Again? Urin muttered. Of course, Arin said sternly. Even the mightiest knights in this territory eat it. Stop complaining and eat. Fine, Viren grumbled. Live and learn, I guess. Boomer traditions. But it works. He lifted the spoon and tasted it. Wait, something's different. Suddenly, a system alert popped up. Notice, you have ingested poison. What? Urin froze. Another message followed. Trait unlocked. For heavens. Poison mastery. His eyes widened. What the hell just happened? Sometime later, Aaron's father turned and said, "Come in, my wife." She entered and replied, "Bring us some tea." His second wife, Kana, walked in. "But what are you looking at so intensely?" she asked. He smiled faintly and said, "I was just thinking. The garden looks beautiful." She placed the teacups on the table and replied, "I've been personally taking care of it with great attention." He nodded. "Your skills are truly admirable." Kana then said, "By the way, Mercurius, when will you finally choose Colin as your heir, you mentioned before?" He turned back to her, and she continued, "Since it was already decided anyway, wouldn't it be better to do it quickly?" She grabbed him gently from behind. He said calmly, "Kana, that might take a little more time." Surprised, she asked, "What? But you said you would name Colin heir within this month." "Yes," he replied. "But as you've probably heard, doesn't it seem like Aaron has finally come to his senses lately? He is the eldest son of House of Rocks. If he really applies himself now, he could turn out to be a good successor." "That's true. I've heard about Aaron as well," she admitted. "I was so worried, but thankfully, he seems to have sobered up at least." "That must be a relief to you, my lord." "Indeed," he said. "To think he got smacked by his fiancée and finally woke up. That boy." She smiled mischievously. "So then, what will you do about the successor?" "Well," he replied, "Aaron has only been training for 3 weeks. I think it's better to wait a bit longer. But I promise you this, if Aaron goes back to his old ways, I'll immediately give the heir title to Colin, your first son." "I'll head to the bathroom first," she said softly. "Finish your work quickly and come." She left, closing the door with a sharp sound. Mercurius gritted his teeth in frustration and muttered angrily, "Aaron, just wait and see." Suddenly, a system notification appeared. Locked. Trick achieved. Shijin Tang family has been unlocked. He stared in shock. What? The Shijin Tang family, specialized in poison. And the unlock condition was to eat poison? You've got to be kidding me. He glanced at the chicken soup in front of him. The system described this as a nutritious stamina food helps burn fat and build muscle. In the Roach family, it's customary to eat chicken soup after training. But, wait, there's more. Looking at the icon, he scrolled down. Henian herb aptitude, paralysis. Henian herb is basically a medicinal plant, but it carries a very mild toxin, harmless to adults in small amounts, but if it builds up, it slowly paralyzes the body until death. He whispered, "It even shows stuff like this." Hehe. Irene walked in and asked, "Young master, aren't you eating?" He flinched and quickly stuffed the food into his mouth. But wait, he thought, who would put poison in here? Normally, I can't be killed by poison, so something has changed in the flow. Something that should have already happened. Hasn't it? Then it hit him. Right. Around this time, Colin the second son was supposed to be officially named heir. Why hasn't it happened yet? Could it be because I started training? Then whoever put poison in the food is probably from that side. He munched the food and stared at the status window. Status: weak paralysis poison. Unlock condition met. Wow, he thought, smiling. Irene, he said aloud. I finished it all. She looked stunned. It was so good, it brought me to tears, he added with a grin. She seemed confused. I want some time alone now. Could you step out? Hesitantly, she said, yes. Then please rest. See you tomorrow. She took the bowl and left the room. Good night, he said softly. After she left, he grinned. Now then, Sunshine Tang, show yourself. A system window popped up. Status, overweight, melting point, muscle pain. Trait, creator's eyes. Family, Sunshine Tang. Scan rate, 97.7%. Such a smart system, he thought. Let's check. Weak paralysis poison unlocked. Truth serum locked. Smoke locked. Soup King locked. Level S locked. Wow, so many poisons. To get the higher ones, I need to unlock the basic one first. Then another window appeared. Choose your martial technique. Dark Poison Art, Thunder Needle Art, 10,000 Venom Demon Energy. He smiled brightly. This is an easy choice. I'm a Wuxia fan. Dark Poison Art focuses on poison, Thunder Needle Art on hidden weapons, but 10,000 Venom Demon Energy, that's both poison and weapons, though harder to master. The more, the better. That's how a real protagonist is. He selected it. You have chosen 10,000 Venom Demon Energy. Suddenly, a burst of light filled the room. Unbelievable. The manuals engraved themselves into my mind. He sat down cross-legged, channeling energy into his danchin. This strange flow, it's real internal strength. Morning came, and he was still on the bed, feeling energized. Amazing. The novels weren't lying about all-night training. My whole body feels full of energy. I can sense ki flowing. I can even tell how many birds are outside without looking. He chuckled. 10,000 Venom Demon Energy Level 1, 10%. Not bad for one night. Just then, Irene's voice came from outside the door. Young master, I came to wake you up. Your bedding looks untouched. You didn't sleep, did you? He smiled and replied. It just turned out that way. She frowned. That's not good. You should rest today instead of training. No, he said firmly. I feel great. I have to train. Later, at the training ground, he picked up a dagger. Let's see if this works. A targeting crosshair appeared in front of his eyes, like an FPS game. All right, aim at the target. He threw the dagger and it hit perfectly. A system prompt popped up. Hidden weapon technique. Sunshine Tang family unlocked. Arin was shocked and said, Young master, you were so smart and standing with confidence. She added, trembling. What did you just do? He replied, I don't know either. I guess the month-long training is finally paying off. Arin's voice shook. That can't be. This is the first time I've seen no. The main character thought, this is the first time I've seen Arin look so flustered. He said, all right, how about one more time? He grabbed another dagger, focused, and thought, when I throw it, I feel a hot inner force surge from my lower abdomen. This time, I'll be faster and stronger. He threw the knife, and it struck the target with a loud crack. Arin gasped, my goodness, that target's broken. The main character thought, the fact that a crosshair, like in an FPS game, appeared for me. It's like using a cheat code. Believe it or not, I once won a tournament for an FPS game called Battle Attack in a PC cafe in Yongyang. Arin asked nervously, Young master, what on earth just happened? Urine Fox, hearing this, said, Can you feel anything from me? She hesitated. Feel anything? Other than the fact you've lost a lot of weight compared to yesterday. I don't know. I've lost weight? He asked. Yes. You're losing weight every day because of training and eating that terrain soup. But today, it feels especially different. He thought, so she can't feel the inner force flowing through my body. That means only I can use it, and others can't see it. I've really gained an amazing ability. With a mischievous smile, he said, Shall we practice again? He threw another knife. This time, the blade split into the previous one and stuck perfectly. Great, I did it, he shouted. Arin was stunned. She covered her mouth and said, Young master, wait, let me try. He was surprised. She grabbed a knife, threw it, but it bounced off the target. He laughed. There are still things you can't do after all. She flushed with embarrassment. Then he suddenly remembered something. Now that I think about it, the status window. It says, Heaven Tank Clan Hidden Weapon Mystery Unlock Direct Throw Unlock. I can throw things faster and stronger, and not only hidden weapons, but also stones, wood fragments, and even swords. He grinned. Wow, any weapon? Let's see what I should try next. Meanwhile, Aaron was frustrated. Why isn't it working for me? Should I try this? He asked. Step back for a second. She nodded. Yes, young master. But, what is that? A broken wooden sword? He raised the broken sword into the air, feeling the inner force flow from his dantian into his arms. Instant kill, he shouted. He hurled the sword aggressively. It struck the target and shattered it instantly. Aaron was shocked. Young master, what on earth happened? What is this power? He smirked. I don't know. The power of practice, I guess. That's ridiculous, she exclaimed. He said, Aaron, I know you report my progress to my father. Yes, that's true, she admitted. Can you please keep this secret for now? Yes, but he stopped her. I'm testing various things right now. I'll tell him myself later. Please wait. She nodded. Understood. Meanwhile, the workers of the Mercury household were heading home. One said, You worked very hard today. Another replied, See you tomorrow, Peru. Good night, Peru answered. A gray-haired man walked away with a bag. The main character silently watched, whispering in his mind, Creator eyes. The status window appeared. Name, Periatre, Poisoning Level 1. Skill, Swift Movement Level 1. Favorability, 0 neutral. He thought, Poisoning trait. The ability to put poison into food. It must be him. Good, finally a real test. A faint arrow floated into his hand. He focused his energy. Paralyze, he muttered, channeling inner force into his fingertips. Peru suddenly clutched his stomach. My body, I can't move. His face twisted in pain. The main character smirked. Success. But the duration is too short. The status window read, Weak paralyzing poison 59.38 seconds. Alright, let's move him, he muttered, dragging Peru. Inside a house, Peru lay on the ground, trembling. The main character stood before him with a sinister grin. Are you curious now? You know who I am, right? Peru's face filled with fear. If you want to live, the young master said coldly, you'd better answer my question truthfully. It was you who put poison in my soup, wasn't it? The main character sat down in front of the man and said, If it's right, blink once. If it's wrong, blink twice. Do you understand? The man blinked once. Good, he continued. Let me ask again. The poison in my soup, that was you, wasn't it? The man blinked again. The poison you fed me, it was honey young grass, right? The man was visibly surprised, then blinked once more. Good. Next, the one who ordered you to poison me. It was Marquis House, wasn't it? Suddenly, the man stammered. No, it wasn't him. The young master narrowed his eyes. It would be better not to lie. I can tell everything. You see, if you lie, your neck will bear the blade of my wrath. Now, ask again, the one who gave the order was Lady China, right? The man remained silent, then fainted. The young master thought, doesn't seem like he was lying. Then who was it? Well, fine, I'll figure it out in time. He pulled something from his pocket and casually forced it into the man's mouth. Swallow this. It's called initial poison. From this moment, you have exactly 1 month to live. If you don't take the antidote I hold, all the organs in your body will melt away before the month ends. The man's face turned pale with fear. So from now on, you will follow my orders. Understood? Terrified, the man nodded repeatedly. Good, the young master said. Then he commanded, release paralyzing poison. The system window appeared. Weak paralyzing poison duration, 2018. The man finally managed to move. He dropped to his knees and said, My lord, I will follow your orders. Then answer me again, the young master said coldly. Who ordered you to administer the poison? The man hesitated, trembling, before finally whispering, It was the Knight Commander, Karox Livington. Yurin was dumbfounded. Karaxpiriu continued. He ordered that you, the young lord, must die as a soldier before the year ends. Yurin's eyes darkened. Karox, wasn't he the kind elder brother? He was appointed as Knight Commander through parachute connections after Lady Karina's marriage into the Mercury family. So my suspicion wasn't entirely wrong. He's in league with Kana after all. But he shook his head. That's not the most important part right now. He handed the man a piece of paper. Here, take this. The man glanced at it and was stunned. These are all poisons. The young master smirked. Few people have knowledge of poison like this one. You can get them on the black market. Take money from Karox and bring me every single one of these poisons. But why do you need them? Prue asked hesitantly. Yurin's voice turned cold. Did I give you permission to ask questions? No, my lord. Forgive me. I understand, Prue replied, bowing in fear. Good. Then go. And one more thing from now on, make sure my medicinal soups contain plenty of honeygrass. Got it? Prue's eyes widened. The young master laughed to himself after Prue left. Ha, killer martial arts really are broken. And to think he believed that initial poison was deadly, it was just dried leaves burned together. Still, he was terrified. He thought, from now on I must quickly master the martial arts of the Heaven Tank clan. If things unfold the way I wrote them, terrifying events will soon shake the outside world. That night, the castle loomed in the distance, glowing in various colors. Later, Prue returned. Young lord, I've brought the poisons you asked for, he said, laying various herbs on the table. This is onion grass. This one is reverse green creeper. And this is ink river leaf. Urine them calmly. So these are the toxic herbs. Prue warned, young master, these herbs are extremely dangerous. Swallowing them all at once could kill a man instantly. The young master only smiled. This much is basic. The truth is, I can see their shadow status windows. Various system prompts appeared. Paralysis trigger effective. Toxicity level high. He muttered, onion grass alone can kill, so why keep the others? Prue explained, because onion grass takes a long time to act, and once resistance develops, one can endure it longer than expected. But if you combine it with reverse green creeper once the onion grass symptoms appear, the effects increase drastically. Yurin nodded. So, when poisons are combined, they grow stronger and harder to detect. He asked, where did you learn all this? Prue gave a bitter smile. When I was 8, I was sold to the Livington family. I was trained by a poison master there. At first, there were 20 children like me, but only I survived. Yurin thought, so it's true. Only a child with natural resistance to poison could survive such training. This one doesn't seem loyal to the Livingston family. Perhaps I've gained a useful person. Well done. That will be all for today, he said. Yes, young master. Thank you. Please have a peaceful night, Prue replied, bowing. Left alone, the young master looked at the poisons and whispered, all right, time to begin. The system window appeared. 10,000 poison body scripture level 120. He began eating the poisonous herbs one by one. His face twisted in agony as he tried not to vomit. System notifications rang. You have ingested honeygrass. 10,000 poison. Body scripture absorbs the poison. You have ingested reverse green creeper. 10,000 poison. Body scripture absorbs the poison. You have ingested ink. River leaf. Danger. Heavy poison detected. Breathing meditation required. He sat down cross-legged, breathing deeply, focusing on absorbing the poisons into his body. Let's level up to 2 stars in the 10,000 poison body scripture. The knight was filled with pain. His face turned pale, sweat dripping as his body convulsed. Morning came. Arin opened the door. Young master, it's morning. Please rise. She stopped, eyes wide in shock. Young lord, your body? What happened to your body? At that moment, the system prompt flashed. 10,000 poison body scripture has reached 2 star. Martial art. Small dragon treasure poison technique unlocked. Skill. Poison flame soul activated. The young master slowly opened his eyes, glowing faintly with the terrifying aura. Arin wrinkled her nose. Young master, what on earth is this? And, ugh, what's that rotten smell? He looked nervous. Ah, I see, Arin thought, so it's true. When internal energy techniques advance to a new level, the body expels a large amount of waste. Urine rushed to another room. It stinks, doesn't it? Should I open a window? Don't, Arin said quickly. It's disgusting. Startled, he muttered. All right, I'll go take a bath. After some time, Arin walked beside him silently. He thought, what's wrong? Does she dislike me now? Suddenly, a system prompt appeared. Scorching Dragon Step movement technique unlocked. He thought excitedly, Scorching Dragon Step, a technique from the Tang family, specialized for quick movement, assassination, and evasion. I can't believe I'm learning a martial art that only appears in novels. He immediately began mimicking the stance and movements. Arin frowned. Young master, why are you walking like a drunk all of a sudden? Is something wrong with your body? Startled, he quickly replied. No, I'm fine. Don't worry, he waved his hand. Let's continue. She hesitated. Are you really okay? You've been training all day and all night. Of course, I told you, I'm fine. I'm just curious about how the knights train. Before long, they arrived near the training grounds. Suddenly, a shout rang out. A muscular knight was practicing his swordsmanship, striking again and again. Who's that? One man asked his companion. That's the eldest young master's attendant. But, who's the handsome young man beside her? Don't tell me that's. Another whispered. I heard the eldest young master lost a ton of weight from training. That can't be. No way. More knights gathered, murmuring. That useless pig. Impossible. Just a month ago he was a joke. What kind of sorcery did he use? Urine smirked. Heh, no matter how quietly they whisper, my trained ears can hear everything. Arin pointed to the corner of the yard. Over there, young master. That one is especially focused on training. Look at his posture perfect. He'll probably be promoted to junior knight soon. Watch closely. Urine thought, that's Kled, a key character in the novel. Later, he becomes the protagonist's ally. Interesting, I never detailed his background before this point. And yet, here he is. Kled muttered to himself as he practiced. I must keep training. Harder. Urine grinned. To think I'd meet him here. This might be a good opportunity later. Then he noticed the other knights around him. Perfect. Test subjects. A system prompt appeared. Chain poison level 1. Spreads poison from one organ to the others in sequence. He activated it, targeting a purple-haired knight. The man suddenly clutched his stomach and collapsed. Hey, what's wrong with you? Do you need the toilet? One companion laughed. The man groaned. No, it's not that. Arg. He writhed on the ground in pain. Call a priest. Someone shouted. Moments later, the pain vanished. The man gasped. It's gone. Bastard. Are you messing with us? Another yelled. You should have gone to the bathroom earlier. The purple-haired man roared back. I wasn't faking it. I was in pain. Damn it. The young master smirked. Good. Now, let's try the next skill. System prompt. Soul Staggering Mist Level 1. Releases a hallucinogenic mist within range, causing fear and confusion. He activated it. Suddenly, one knight screamed. Monsters! Get away from me! The others stumbled back, their eyes filled with terror. One saw flames. Another saw skeletons wielding knives. They swung wildly at thin air, shouting, Stay away! Arin gasped. What's happening to them? Behind her, the young master chuckled mischievously. The knights bickered. You looked like a monster just now. No, you did. I saw it. The young master thought, that's enough teasing for today. Still, very impressive. He turned to Arin. Let's go back. She blinked. Already? But it's too noisy here. Let's head to Training Hall 4, as planned. Just then, a servant rushed up. Young master, there you are. Startled, he asked. What is it? The servant bowed. A guest has arrived. Guest? Who? The lady. Lady Ilia Marcus has come. In the hall stood an elegant, purple-haired young woman. She clenched her fists. Yurin, this time I will definitely break off this engagement. Yurin froze, staring at her. Ilya looked at him and gasped, her face flushed. Why you? Who are you? We see a scene from some time earlier, where the main character, Yuren, thought, Ilya Marcus, so my first fiancé came to visit me. Yes. It was probably around this time that she started demanding to break the engagement. But back then, Yurin kept refusing, sighing on her side, and said, I suppose it can't be helped. When Yurin arrived and called out to Ilya, she was startled and said, Who are you? I don't know you. And he replied, Yeah, it's me, Yurin. She was stunned. What? He said. Ah, it's been a while, hasn't it? And she said, No way. I heard rumors that you lost weight from training, but I thought they were obviously false, she said nervously. It hasn't even been 2 months. How did you change so much? He said, Well, because I worked hard. And she replied, What? You worked hard? He said, After you beat me up, I did a lot of thinking, and I decided to change. She frowned and said, Are you trying to pick a fight for revenge? He said, No. Then suddenly, he knelt down in front of her. She was frightened, and he said, I am grateful to you. Thanks to you, I was able to come to my senses. I'm truly sorry about what happened. If you want to break off the engagement because of it, I will accept it. She was confused. What? And she said, Who are you? He replied, Me, I am the former scoundrel. Once again, am truly sorry. She thought, to be honest, it wasn't my fault. But he thought, it wasn't my fault, but the original owner of this body. The reason I am going this far to ask for forgiveness is because of something the system revealed earlier. Marquis trait. Nation-toppling beauty. Sword Queen. Favorability. -16 dislike. Ilya isn't just a simple heroine. The Sword Queen trait allows her to grow stronger and stronger. Later on, she saves the fallen protagonist and even defeats a major villain. What makes this possible? Her Sword Queen trait. That's why, even if we break the engagement, it's beneficial to restore the relationship and make her an ally. She said, Get up. Are you serious? There was a very dangerous look on her face. He said, Yes, I promise. She said, No, swear it. He thought, that's an order to pressure me. Such a suffocating demand. But this scene, I've seen it somewhere else. She said, You won't leave like you did before. If you break that oath, I will beat you to death myself. He thought, this is the line Lilia said to the protagonist, not Yaren. Anyway, he couldn't breathe under the pressure. He said, I swear. She was stunned and speechless. She blushed slightly and said, Fine, then I'll be watching you. If you mess up one more time, we are breaking the engagement no matter what. He was speechless. You're not breaking the engagement, he thought. Sometime later, Ilya and Yurin's father were sitting in a room. His father, Wellington, said, Have you met with Ilya? She said, Yes. He said, Then have you made a decision? She said, Yes. The engagement? I will not break it. He was stunned. What? May I ask why? She said, My father always said that people can't change. But there were rumors that he had changed, so I was curious. I wondered if perhaps he had returned to the weak but kind Ilya from his childhood. But instead, he has become a completely different person. That's why I wanted to try trusting him this once. Her father said, Is that so? She said, Yes. But if he ever goes back to being a scoundrel, I will beat him to death with my own hands. She was serious. Her father, nervous and slightly angry, said, As expected of a great warrior, please take good care of Ilya. She said, Then I'll be on my way. He said, What? Why not stay for a few days? She chuckled and said, I told my father I was going to break the engagement, so it's a bit awkward. He said, Oh, at least say goodbye to Ilya before you go. She said, No, that's all right. He has his training, so I wouldn't disturb him. He smiled and said, Ho, all right. Say hello to your father for me. It's evening already. Later, in his father's room. Did you call me father? Yes. You're here. No, but who are you? Yurin said, Pardon? I am your son, father. He laughed. It's a joke, a joke. Yes, you really have worked very hard. Ha ha ha. You know why I called you here? Isn't it? To begin my night training? His father nodded. That's right. And after that, you will now learn the Rix family swordsmanship. Yurin said, about that, I have something to tell you. You want to learn throwing arts? Technique. His father shocked and said, what? What is it? Throwing arts? You want to learn throwing arts instead of swordsmanship? Yurin said, that is correct. His father was angry. That's unacceptable. Those are skills used by thieves with crude techniques like dagger throwing. You wouldn't be able to get through a knight's armor, let alone pierce the skin of even a low-level monster like a Barak. Do you understand? Then Yurin said. Then let's make a bet. His father said. What? What kind of bet? Yurin said, on whether or not I can hunt a Barak with a dagger. If you're so confident, let's make a bet, father. His father shouted at him, how reckless. Fine. I get this chance to completely crush that stubbornness of yours. All right. What are the stakes of this bet? If I take down Valak with the dagger, Yurin said, I will handle my own training from now on. If I fail, I'll do as you wish. Suddenly, light faded, and he found himself standing in his room. Great. Thankfully, Aaron hasn't reported on my training this whole time. The real test is tomorrow. I wonder how many strikes it will take to pierce the Valak scales. I'm curious myself, he thought. Just in case, I should eat some of those poisonous herbs I hid tonight and raise the poisoned divine body to the 3rd star. He turned and saw Ryan at the door. Young lord, Aaron said, I came to deliver a message from Mercurius. The time tomorrow is 12 o'clock, and the place is training ground 1. He was stunned and said nothing at first. Then he asked, do you know what this bet is about? She replied, well, it's not just me, the entire Mercurius estate knows. Thanks to that, the whole place is bursting with laughter right now. Laughter? He asked. They're all talking about how the young lord will wet his pants in fear or run away when he sees the Valak. They're having a good time chatting about it. After all, the young lord is still public enemy number 1. He gritted his teeth in frustration. In that case, are all those people coming to watch tomorrow? Yes, she said. Mercurius didn't stop them. The training ground will be packed. He sighed. Huh, really now the price of fame. But what do you think will happen? Aaron smiled. Tomorrow will probably be the young lord's day to shine. System prompt. The poisoned divine body has reached the 3rd star. The next day, a huge stadium was filled with people eager to watch the match. Standing in the middle, an antagonist muttered, geez, it's really packed. Mercurius approached. Well, Yurin, are you ready? He nodded nervously. Yes, but they sure are crowded. I only meant to tell my mage, Mercurius said, but somehow, the news spread to everyone. Try not to embarrass yourself. The great mage announced. Now then, let's begin. Choose close range, summon magic. Our main character thought, I get to see magic with my own eyes. Suddenly, a huge lightning bolt struck the stadium. Smoke filled the air. From that smoke emerged the shadow of a monster. What's even more amazing is that I'm seeing a monster I created as an author right in front of me. System prompt. Valak, a 150 centimeter tall marine monster. The huge creature had 2 massive fangs and a fish-like appearance. Everyone was shocked. Wow, so that's what it looks like. Actually, that monster the Valak was something I came up with on the spot while eating rockfish sashimi when I was out of ideas. If it weren't for the arms and legs, it might even look a little cute. The monster roared, startling him. It lunged, but he dodged every attack. The crowd gasped, even his father was shocked. Not yet. The monster charged again, but this time, he stood confidently. It just charges without thinking. But well, it's not that fast, is it? Let's see. He pulled out his dagger. Let's see just how thick its scales are. A weak spot. Right in front of me. Let's give it a try. He aimed and threw the dagger. It struck the weak point perfectly. The monster collapsed instantly. He stared in disbelief. It went down in one hit. The entire crowd erupted in cheers. Wow, he got it. The young lord took down a Valak. You're so cool. People shouted as he stood with a majestic look. His father yelled, "You brat! How in the world did you do that?" He scratched his head. "I aimed carefully and hit the right spot. I don't accept this," his father said. "What? A Valak dying from a single dagger? That's impossible," another said. "Don't tell me the great Mercurius is going back on his word," Urin smirked. "Look," the mage shouted. Right under Valak's arm in a spot with no scales, the young lord's dagger landed. It was pure luck. "So what?" Urin said. "Luck or not, a bet is a bet." His father gritted his teeth. "Come on, just one more round." "I don't want to," Urin said. "You're being such a baby," his father snapped. "I'll add another promise to the bet. If you win this time, no matter what you ask, I'll grant you one wish." Urin's eyes lit up. "But if you lose," his father continued, "you'll go back to learning swordsmanship like we agreed." "A wish? For real?" Urin asked. However, his father said, "This time, your opponent won't be a Valak, but a knight. Will you take the challenge?" "Yeah, doesn't matter to me," Urin replied confidently. On the contrary, he thought, "This is my chance." Knight Commander Karok stepped forward, his face grim. His father added, "Of course, a fully trained knight would be too much for you to handle, so we'll settle for a squire instead. That should be fair enough, right?" "Then may I choose the squire?" Urin asked. His father frowned. "What? Who?" "I choose Kraid," Urin declared. A huge, muscular man stepped out. "You called for me, Mercurius?" "They say you're in training," Lurius said. "How reliable you look." "Kraid," Mercurius ordered. "I have a task for you. Straighten him out for me." "Yes, sir. Whatever you command, I will do." Urin smirked. "Don't worry, Kraid. I'll only throw 3 daggers. If you block all 3, you win." His father fumed. "Did you see that arrogance? Teach him a real lesson this time." The duel was about to start. The knights in the crowd shouted, "Kraid, lose today and no dinner for you." Another added, "If you're defeated, you'll run 100 laps around the training field." "Urin Lord, you can do it." Someone cheered. Wait, that was a woman's voice, Urin thought, his heart racing. Whoever she is, just hearing her cheer for me feels like bliss. Kraid readied his sword. "Young lord, I'm ready." "Good," Urin said, channeling mana into his dagger. "Let's start this fight. There are so many weak points. Compared to the Valak, there are too many. If I hit one, would it kill him? I can't let that happen." He threw the first dagger. It flew with immense speed. Kraid blocked with his sword, but the blade cracked. The crowd gasped. What was that sound? It was like a cannon blast. Mercurius stared. "No way. That kind of power from an ordinary dagger? How is this possible?" The knights were trembling. Urin smirked. "Now you're warmed up. Be ready. This time I'll throw with everything I've got." He locked eyes with Kraid. "Here I go." He threw the second dagger. Kraid swung his sword boom. A deafening blast shook the field. Smoke billowed everywhere. When it cleared, Kraid's sword was broken, and he was on the ground, trembling. "Urin," his father shouted. "Let's talk, just the two of us." "The match isn't over," Urin said. "There's still 1 dagger left." "What?" Mercurius was stunned. "That's enough, Urin," his father said. "Let's ask him directly." "Kraid, raise your head." The knight struggled. "Young lord, will you end it like this? Will someone aspiring to be a knight accept such a half-baked outcome?" "Kraid," Urin said, "whether it's victory or defeat, bring it to a clear end. That is the way of a knight, right? I'll ask again, will you give up like this?" Kraid gritted his teeth. Give me a new sword." Power surged through his body. "I, Kraid, will not back down like this." The knights gasped. "A squire, awakening his aura?" Mercurius shouted, "Unbelievable." Urin smiled. Just as expected. At his breaking point, Kraid's berserker trait manifests. "Now, I can test out the higher technique."